Yesterday, the Detroit Lions uniforms got released in a rather peculiar and interesting way, but the end result was all the same. These uniforms are straight badass, and we're going to talk about them. Stay tuned, folks.
What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're going to be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10-5 end zone touchdown Detroit Lion.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Lions fans, and welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving on in. And I gotta tell you something, folks. We're just going to kind of go through a little bit of a quick kind of, summarization of the events that happened yesterday prior to the 7 p.m. actual official showing. Because obviously for anybody that's a Lions fan, obviously for anybody that actually kind of follows what was going on throughout the course of the day, the actual uniforms, quote-unquote jerseys, those got leaked by Fanatics around 10, 11 o'clock yesterday. And needless to say, it caused a little bit of an uproar in the Lions fan community. It caused a little bit of an uproar with the Lions because those were not supposed to be leaked. Those were supposed to have been held off until the 7 p.m. official total overall uniform showing. And unfortunately, Fanatics kind of went and spoiled the surprise because I'm going to be honest here. The uniform itself as a total is what you're looking for, but the jersey is what makes up, I would say, about a good 50 to 60% of the overall uniform, because that's what almost everybody is going to look at other than the helmet. The pants, not as much, but the helmet and the jerseys, those are what make up the primary component of the uniform. So that whole, leaking yesterday, that whole kind of spoiler alert kind of really upset some people. Now, I'm not going to dwell too much on that because that's done, dead, and over with. Here's what I'm here to talk about. When we actually finally got a chance to take a look at the whole package, if you will, to take a look at this whole new uniform that the Lions had put together, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is arguably, without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion, either the best uniform in the NFL or probably one of the best uniforms that the NFL has seen ever. Because I'm going to be entirely honest here. There are uniforms that you just will look back and you're like, hey, that is an iconic uniform. What the Lions did is they took an already iconic uniform with an iconic set of colors, and they not only put a modern twist on it, but they also put it back to what it used to look like in the 1990s when it was really at the height of its power, at the height and peak of what it was. Because I'm going to be honest with you. You take a look at all three sets of these new uniforms. You have, obviously, the home blue, you have the away white, and now you have the alternate black. I'm going to tell you this right now. I have been a strong proponent for bringing back the black uniforms because black is a color that I think really personifies the villain mindset that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have been trying to bring to Detroit. And again, as we found out yesterday, Rod Wood specifically was requested by Dan Campbell as soon as he got there to bring back the black uniforms. And Rod Wood specifically told Dan Campbell, he's like, listen, we'll bring them back when you win a division title. And that was done last year, so I think, okay, we kind of got our answer there. But it's like, listen, black is just a sexy color. I love black. Now, I'm going to say this. There are a lot of things about these uniforms that I do like. There also are some things about them that I'm not as, I would say, particularly keen on. But we'll get to those in a minute here. We'll kind of break down each uniform here to get to the end game here, the end result. The first thing I'm going to go through is the home uniform. The home uniform, I think, in my opinion, is the best one of the lot. I love the home uniform. I love the fact it kind of goes back to that 1990s look with the blue. I love the fact that we've got the blue face mask back. It really makes that helmet pop on that silver helmet. I just love it. I love the fact that they redid the middle line stripe. It made it a little bit wider, a little bit more pronounced. I love that. I love also the fact that what we did see with the jerseys is that on the back, in the neck collar, they now have those words on all three of the uniforms. They have One Pride, Motor City, and 313 for each respective uniform, home, away, and alternate. And to me, it's just like, listen, The Lions went out and they found ways to not only add to the uniform, which it's like, listen, in this day and age, it's kind of hard to get a little bit creative. It's hard to try and get an ingenious kind of a new way to add to jerseys and uniforms. But what the Lions said is, well, let's add our own personal little signature, if you will, on the inside collar of the uniform, so that way we take ourselves wherever we go. Which to me, I was like, dude, I love that. I love that aspect of the uniform. I really, really do. The other thing you can tell on all the uniforms, it's not just the home one, is that they did away with the WCF that was on the side of the uniforms for the longest time. That is now on the back of the helmet as a sticker. I know for some Lions fans, they wanted to get rid of the William Clay Ford sticker or emblem that was on the uniforms because they didn't like it. They didn't want to keep being reminded of that, but all the Lions simply did is said, hey, we're going to take it off the uniform, make it a little less pronounced, and we're going to put it on the back of the helmet, which, whatever. I don't really get all that bothered about that whole nonsense, because it's like, listen, without William Clay Ford, we're not going to have Sheila. Without her, without him, that's not going to happen. So it's like, listen, you got to take both the good and the bad. And again, that's just the way it is. Now, I will say this. The one thing I'm not too particularly keen about with all the uniforms is the fact that across the chest, right above the numbers, they either have Detroit or they have Lions. It's like, listen, I don't need that. I'm not saying that it's something that's a deal breaker for me, but it kind of, in my opinion, kind of takes away from the uniform a little bit, because it's like, listen, every single other uniform that we've had, I don't recall ever a time us having the city name or the team name on the front of the chest. I could be wrong. But to me, it's just like, I don't need that there. That to me seemed like one of those details that was just a little bit too much. So that is one thing I'm not too particularly keen on with the new uniforms. I think that putting the Detroit or the Lions on there was just a little bit too much, especially when you consider the fact that on the inside collar of the jersey, you have, like I said, the 313, the One Pride, or the Motor City. And it's like, dude, everybody knows we're the Detroit Lions. Everybody knows that. I mean, for crying out loud, between the logo, between the jersey colors, I mean, everybody knows who we are. I don't think we need to, put that on there. But again, that's just my opinion, which at this point, that's all this is just opinion. Now, the away uniform. I also love the away uniform. Again, there's not really a whole lot about the away uniform that's really all that much different, because the Lions away uniform is just a simple white jersey top, and then you have blue pants or silver pants. Now, I will say this. The fact that they pretty much stayed true to that, and again, they kept the colors that they had on the helmet, I love that. Like I said, the only thing I'm not really too much in love with the white jersey is, again, the fact that they have that Lions or Detroit logo that's right over the top of the numbers. It just sits with me wrong. It seems like they decided to just put that little added touch there, and it was just too much. Now, I'm going to say this. The black uniforms, the black ones. Dude, these things are sexy. Oh, these things are awesome. I don't care what anyone says. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love the black uniforms. I've loved them for a long time. I don't care if they're associated with Matt Millen, and apparently neither did Dan Campbell. But I will say this. When it comes to the black uniforms, please, for the love of God, do not put that black top with the blue pants. Don't do it. The black on black is just absolutely awesome. You add that blue in there, and it's like, okay, yeah, you can. The blue works with the black, but it's like, dude, the black top, the black pants, that is an awesome look. It works beautifully. Now, I know for some people, the one thing that they're not too particularly keen on, and I know I'm going to say this right now, I've seen this on other places on social media, because like I say, I got social media accounts everywhere. There's this one guy on TikTok who kind of goes over multiple types of uniforms, and what he specifically goes over is helmets. I watched a video about him talking about the helmet for the black uniform. He was not too particularly thrilled with it. And I think the reason why is because he's like, hey, you had this really nice looking blue helmet that you had last year that we did with the whole gray uniforms, and then the Lions kind of went out and they changed the color a little bit. It's still Honolulu blue, but it's a different kind of shade of blue, and he was just not too particularly thrilled with it. But to me, it's like, listen, it's still a Honolulu blue. And the thing that I love about it is, again, what the Lions did, and this is something that I liked with all three of the helmets, is that if you take a look at the helmets themselves, for the away uniform and the home uniform, it's a blue face mask. For the black uniform, it's a black face mask. So again, what the Lions did is true to Rod Wood's word, is that these uniforms have the ability to kind of be swapped in and out as far as different collective pieces. So it's like, hey, we have a black uniform that you can put blue pants with along with the black pants. We have the black face mask to go with the black uniform. For the home and away uniforms, we have the same concept there, but now it's a blue face mask. There's multiple things about these uniforms that are going on, and it's just absolutely awesome to see the different kind of variations and color combinations that these uniforms really have. Now, I will say this. This is kind of like my own little personal touch here. I think about a week or so ago, the New York Jets popped out their new uniforms. And when I saw these uniforms, I kind of got on Twitter and I was like, dude, there's not really a whole lot that's different about these Jets uniforms. It's pretty much the same basic color. It's pretty much the same basic everything. You added a different shoulder stripe. You might have changed a couple of words here or there, and you changed your face mask, and the logo's a little bit different. But not really a whole lot changed. And I already know some people got back at me and said, oh, there's nothing really different about these Lions uniforms. Dude, there's everything different about these uniforms. It's a different shade of blue. It's a different face mask. You have a whole new different entire uniform that we haven't seen in freaking almost 2 decades. And then on top of that, there's all the other little things that I've talked about with these uniforms. And again, I'm going to say this right now. I don't know too many Jets or any other uniforms in the NFL that, like I said, have that inside, stitching on the back of the jersey neck that says, oh, 313, One Pride, Motor City. That right there shows the different types of things that are associated with the Detroit Lions. I don't know too many other teams that have multiple different little, idioms that kind of go with what the city is representative of. The Lions have multiple things like that. But the way I look at it is this. The Detroit Lions, I said in an episode yesterday, the Detroit Lions uniforms, they had to meet high expectations because we have been waiting for these uniforms for a long, long time. And these uniforms, I said it, they had to be nailed out of the park. That is exactly what these uniforms do for me. These uniforms they're iconic, they're sexy as hell, and as I said, these things are badass. Like, I'm telling you right now, the saying goes is that the clothes make the man. I'm telling you this right now. Our players, when they get out on the turf, on the grass, whatever the case is, they ought to be feeling pretty powerful in these uniforms because these things look damn they're awesome. Like, I'm telling you this right now. I know it sounds like I'm just pumping up the Lions really big right now, but it's like, dude, I cannot think of a uniform in the NFL that has as much going for it right now as the Lions. I seriously don't. You tell me right now one uniform that has as much going for it as far as design, as far as looks, as far as everything that the Lions has got going right now, the twist of the modern with the touch to the past and all this other stuff. It's like, dude, these uniforms, I think the Lions are going for broke here. Like, they're trying to be the new face of the NFL here because it's like, dude, these uniforms, the Lions' popularity, the fact that the draft is in Detroit, dude, you say what you want about the Lions, but I think the Lions are trying to be a representative, like an ambassador for the entirety of the NFL here because you are seeing a team that is really putting itself out there on the map, and these uniforms are just yet another piece of evidence in my opinion, and they're awesome. But anyway, I rambled on long enough about these uniforms, but I'm just going to say it. These uniforms, just awesome. Anyway, with that having been said, I just want to say thank you all for watching another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. I also encourage y'all to do one of these 3 things: like, comment, and subscribe. If by chance you have subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, or you just subscribed and you not had a chance to do so, again, I highly, highly encourage y'all to please subscribe. We're almost to 6,000 subscribers, folks. Let's keep it going. I also encourage y'all, please, to turn on that bell notification icon so that way, as soon as I push something out, you guys can come right back into the streams. Also encourage y'all to share this content with your Lions friends and family members. Share here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere and everywhere you can with everybody and anybody that you can. The more we can share it, the greater the channel grows and the greater the channel spreads. And with that being said, to everybody, I just want to say thank you all once again for being an awesome, amazing crowd. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And I also want to say, hope you all got something that makes you happy in your life. Hope you all got something that makes you smile. And with that, hope you enjoyed the content. And I just want to say this: God bless, and until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.